Welcome my dear student in Horizon Language Schools, grade 8. Welcome in Science Department. Let's complete Unit 2, Force and Motion. We studied Lesson 1, which was Fundamental Forces in Nature, and we will study Lesson 2, Accompanied Forces to Motion. Let's remember what we studied in Lesson 1, which was the force. What is the meaning of force? We said that force is an attempt to change object state from being static to motion, or vice versa, or to change the direction of motion. But in this lesson, we will talk about many accompanied forces to motion, and the following diagram will show that. There are two types of forces accompanied to motion. Forces originate due to motion, as we see. Forces originate due to motion, and forces cause motion. The forces which originate due to motion are forces of inertia, forces of friction or friction forces. Number 2, forces cause motion is forces of living systems, or forces inside living system. We will talk about forces of inertia. Inertia is a property of an object that has to resist the change of its state of rest or motion at a regular speed in a straight line unless an external force acted on it. It means that inertia makes the object resist the change in their motion or resist the change in their rest state. There are some examples that indicate inertia in our life. Example number one, the passengers and the driver in a moving bus or car or any other vehicle are rushed forward when the bus or car stops suddenly. Why? Due to inertia for the passengers and the driver. It makes them resist the sudden stopping of car to maintain the state of motion, so they rush forward. Example number 2, the passengers and the driver in a static bus or car are rushed back when the car starts moving forward after it was at rest. Why? It's due to inertia for the passengers and driver. It makes them resist the sudden motion of the car to maintain the state of rest, so they rush back. Example number 3, a football player rushes forward and falls on the ground if he is tripped during running. Give reason why. Due to inertia for the football player that makes him resist the sudden stopping of his foot to maintain his state of motion, so he will be forced forward and fall down. Let's see this activity. Place a piece of paper on the top of a glass cup and put a coin on it. Use your forefinger to deliver a quick hit to the paper. What do you observe? The coin falls inside the cup, as we see. Why? The coin resists the sudden movement of the paper due to inertia, so it remains static and it falls in the cup. Is this? What is the conclusion? Force of inertia makes object resist the change of their rest state. Is another video for the passengers and the driver. When traveling in a train or any other vehicle, have you noticed how you continue to move forward when it stops? You just experienced inertia as this boy. Inertia is the tendency of a body to resist the change in motion or rest. This boy rushed forward when the bus or the train stops suddenly due to inertia for the passenger. Okay, let's notice what happened when the vehicle stops. Suddenly the boy rushed forward, as we see, before coming to a complete stop. This is due to force of inertia. In the same way, you will rush back when a vehicle begins to move after it was at rest, as we see. Okay, it's also due to inertia for the passenger, which it make them resist the sudden motion of the vehicle to maintain its rest state. And thus we have finished part 1 from this lesson, which was force of inertia. Thank you for listening, Miss Sarah.